Greetings metalheads and welcome to another edition of Friday the 13th YouTube channel. Today you're going to be listening to an audio interview with Bay Area thrashers Exodus. This was conducted with bass player Jack Gibson and drummer Tom Hunting. So have a listen to this. This was recorded back in 2004 for the album Temple of the Damned, which is a great album. As we all know, Exodus' career, they've been a fantastic band for years, still churning out brutal thrash as we know. So have a listen to this and take it for what it is. Like I said, it was done in 2004. So please subscribe if you can. Much appreciate it. Please share on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. So stay safe. Thanks for watching and listening. I'll speak to you all soon. Stay metal, dudes. Right, we've got an interview here with the guys from Exodus. We've got Tom and Jack. Right guys, thanks for doing the interview for Friday 13th.
No problem.
Second interview so far. Right, my first question for you both is, out of all the previous albums you've recorded as Exodus, which are your favourite and least favourite and why? Tom?
I'd have to say the live one is my personal favourite. Personally, because I don't know about the other guys, but I got the best drum sound on that one for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I don't really have a least favourite Exodus album because, I mean, the band's my first love and I love all of them, you know.
Even the albums you didn't play on?
Yeah.
Right.
For a while there, John Tepessa was my favourite member of Exodus.
Right. What about yourself?
Well, I mean, you know, the only one I'm on is the live one, so of course that one's going to be my favourite. I think of the ones that I'm not on.
How much better they'd be if he was on them.
I mean, I think Fabulous Disasters, you know, probably Exodus at its best.
Music peak.
Front to back. But, you know, Bonded by Blood is also just an untouchable classic. And, yeah, I mean, I don't know, you know, I don't know which one I would say is bad.
The live one's the one you could hear the bass the most on.
Yeah. That is
Definitely.
so.
I was real happy with. I mean, not to stroke myself. I was real happy with the way that it came out sounding and my tone and stuff on that record. It was exactly where I wanted to be on that record.
Excellent. What about least favourites? Do you have any least favourites, any of you?
God, you know, I really don't. I'd say probably the one that I listened to the least is Force of Habit, but I wouldn't say that it's my least favorite. It's the one that we don't really play.
Is that your debut album?
Not Force of Habit. That was Mike Butler. Mine was the live one.
Okay.
So
which would you say is the best-selling album to date? Which one do you think is your best-selling album?
Best-selling album to date? Probably Fabulous. But, you know, getting an accurate reading from a fucking record company is you know,
a myth.
Yeah. Chances of that are slim to none that you get an accurate reading on what sold what. But Bonded's probably sold a lot. I don't think Pleasure sold as good. I think Fabulous probably sold the best because it charted the best. That's the only real gauge I had to go by. So.
Right, okay. Cheers, Tom. Next question is: so why did you leave Combat Music for Nations? Now did the deal with Capitol come around?
We were signed actually by the president of Capitol at the time, and you know, unfortunately for Exodus, it's like all the upper staff at Capitol that were responsible for signing them weren't there the next year, you know. So they kind of lied in limbo, and I wasn't with them at this time, but it must have sucked to, you know, you really need a representative, so you're somebody's band.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
And I think the problem that happened with Exodus is that when nobody's band,
there's no staff to come out.
Yeah.
It's that with a lot of bands, like on Capitol, Atlantic Records, a lot of bands like Testament, they had the same problems.
Right. And King's X, I guess, had a problem with it.
All their people left.
And you know, it's sad but true.
That sounds like a Metallica song. So, next question is, why did the band call it a day after the release of Force of Habit?
What was that?
Why did the band call it a day after Force of Habit? Why did they call it a day? Is it just because of, like you said, Capitol and...
Yeah, I think the business end started to eat at them. Because, I mean, we've always been, you know, a fun-driven band. And I think that whole experience kind of like sucked the fun out of it. And, you know, there was, like I said, there was internal conflicts, and I don't know, the timing wasn't right, I guess. And now we feel like, you know, it's especially after all that's happened this year, that the time is right.
Right.
To put this together. Maybe we weren't mature enough to handle it back then, or something. I don't know.
So it's hard to do things. You know, it's hard to play music for the love of it forever. You know, and you know, I mean, eventually, you know, life will catch up, and unfortunately, I think that the band wasn't being worth, you know, all the energies that were being put into it. So unfortunately, that can happen on the artist's end, because our hearts are in it, and it's only everybody else's, you know, money.
Yeah.
Right. So what did you all do when Exodus broke up? What did you do, Tom? Because you left and did something with Jason Houston, didn't you? The IRS demo.
Oh, IRA?
Yeah,
IRA?
I've got that one, yeah. I've got it. Jason Houston's demo here.
What do you think of it?
It's pretty good. You can't sing death metal, can I?
Well,
that's his interpretation of trying to do death metal. Bless him, he tried.
this is actually the first chance I've gotten to talk about it, because Metallica kind of squashed that shit. You know, they didn't like the fact that he was doing something outside their fist.
Well, I was quite surprised that Jason Houston got me address, and he actually sent me a handwritten letter with the demo. He said, "Here's our demo." I was like, wow, you know, where did he get me address from? Obviously, somebody in California knows who I am, San Francisco.
Yeah, there's another one coming in about 12 months called Quarteto de Pinga.
And that one's good.
Check that one out.
You have to get me a copy of it. Jason's got me address, so, you know, if you see him, just tell him to send me a copy or something.
That's got Rob Flynn on it.
I thought that one came out a while ago.
It's been
With Max Cavalera or something.
No, it's got Andreas on it.
That
one's my favorite out of all those ones, out of all those side projects.
Because he told me that he did more than one demo under that name. Jason used to lost
Quarteto de Pinga? No, we're talking about doing a reform and doing like a follow-up to the Quarteto one.
Right.
Because that was his favorite lineup.
David Townsend, yourself, and Jason.
Yeah. And there's some tunes that he left out of the Sexoturica stuff too, I think, that might come out too when the Quarteto comes out. And we did a Motorhead cover, and but yeah, that should be coming out in about 12 months.
Excellent, to get a copy.
He wanted to do that as a follow-up to the Sexoturica irate shit.
Yeah. Oh,
but it was fun. I mean, I don't know why Metallica was threatened by it, because it was just, you know, drunken.
It's just fun. It was just fun, wasn't
it was drunken barbecue music, you know.
It's just because it's money orientated. That's what it is. We're just interested in money, aren't we? Really.
But what I don't understand about it is what could it do to dilute the success of Metallica?
Nothing.
It couldn't do shit.
Nothing.
If anything else, it would have enhanced it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like any riffs that they were going to use, you know, unless they were scared we were going to come up with something killer in a day and a half, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. He went in and remastered it, remixed some of the shit, and so it sounds good to me.
So what did the rest of Exodus do then? You know, what did Exodus do after they all broke up the first time, you know?
Zetro got a union job, making $36 an hour, installing doors, and Gary did roofing for a while, and then we actually, well, that's when we hooked up with Jack, was about 96, didn't we?
96, yeah. They were doing a band called War Dance.
Yeah, I've heard of them, yeah.
And I got to get in on the ground floor of that.
And our bass player, it's like being a band whore. He was like in 6 different bands. And then Jack just came in and said, "Yeah, I can play that shit." So we said, "Oh yeah? Well, here's a bass." And he just fit.
Right, so what's this Piranha project that was going around? Was that with Paul?
That was Bailoff. That was Bailoff's project right after Exodus.
Right.
They made a really good demo, actually.
Right. You ever thought of putting it out in memory of Paul? Have you ever thought of anybody putting it out?
I don't think there's a good copy of it anywhere.
Right.
Worth putting out. I mean, I don't think there's a master tape or anything like that anywhere.
Right.
I think to obtain it, we probably have to contact, you know, some people who were involved with recording it. James produced it. Hatfield.
Right.
Hatfield produced it, and it's a pretty good demo, actually. I've heard it a couple times.
Excellent.
There's a song called Nursery Rhymes on it that's really good. I think Bailoff was the mastermind behind
it. Is it similar to Exodus then? Is the music kind of similar style?
It's heavy. It's not fast like Exodus, but
right. It's crunchy, meaty.
Yeah.
What's that?
Nursery Rhymes.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Next question is so what was the problem between Paul and Steve? Was there some sort of like animosity between them? Because when I met Paul at Dynamo, he wasn't like didn't really like Steve. It come across like he didn't, you know.
That was total fiction.
Was that?
Yeah. Pretty much. I can say this now. Thank you, Paul. But I can say this now: there never was any animosity between him. There never was any singer you know, controversy or whatever like that. It just, I mean, the last year has definitely made me see things differently. It's like, I always thought of, you know, getting rid of Paul and getting Steve was a mistake, but had we not done that, there really wouldn't be a now to speak about, you know, because I never would have that relationship formulated there already.
Yeah.
To just pick up where we left off, kind of. But there never was any. I mean, they like each other.
Right.
Or they liked each other. There never really was any real animosity, and anything that was there was just created for fun.
Right, just the hype for the press.
Exactly. For you guys.
Yeah.
I like to play jokes on people.
Yeah.
So, what made you want to reform the band the second time around for the live album? I mean, was it?
Well, because when we did War Dance, we were doing lots of local gigs and stuff, and we were just tired of the constantly looking for a singer thing, and our singer was kind of crazy, and he was, you know, we had a bad gig one time in Concord, and then he just disappeared for a month because he couldn't take the slander or whatever. Because after the show, I was in his face going, "You suck tonight," you know. And he's kind of mental, the old singer. So we were thinking about it, and we're going.
Right, thanks.
We were saying to ourselves, you know, well,
maybe the next one.
what singer is there out there that doesn't, you know, have this ego-driven bullshit behind him? And we thought of Paul right away. And well, shit, if we're gonna do that, let's call up Rick too. Fucking. But Bora Boy is a friend of ours, actually from Century. He was with Century Media.
Yeah.
Now I think he's on his own. He'd always been a friend of ours, and he's like, "Come on, you guys, let's get the fucking band back together." And blah blah blah. What are you doing? So he kind of helped in the decision making. That us to do it again.
Alright, okay, next question is...
basically, we were tired of the ego-driven singing
right.
bullshit.
Okay. Cheers, and so my next question is, did you try to get Steve once again in the band before Paul to do another lesson in violence? Did you approach Steve first? Was it just...
No, actually, we approached Paul first because we thought if we were going to do this one more time, and if it was going to go out that way, we wanted it to kind of go out the way it came in. Like we even approached Rob about it, and Rob said he didn't think he could play that shit no more, which was fine with us because Jack plays it way better anyway.
Right. Okay, the next question is, what made you want to release this album as a live album instead of a new studio album? Jack, do you want to answer that one?
That's just what they wanted. When we talked to Borvoy and the guys at Media, that's just the way that they wanted to, you know, give us less money, pretty much.
Right. So there's no plans to do a live album, the studio album, and it's just like, let's just do a live album, let everybody know that we're back and we're stronger than ever.
We had always
kicked still play this shit, basically.
We had always kicked around the idea, and in fact, unfortunately, right when Paul died, we were actually kind of giving it serious thought, and we had several meetings to talk about possibilities, and we'd actually, it was after the Thrash of the Titan show,
was that in San Francisco with Deaf Angel and Forbidden?
Yeah,
that was the Chuck Billy benefit.
Right.
And we were gonna see what we could do, and then so we had some gigs booked, and then Paul died, and we actually got Steve to come in and fill in for the gigs, you know.
Which is like perfect because he knew most of the songs anyway, didn't he? Really.
Well, I called him up, and he kind of felt like it was, you know, it was supposed to happen. That's when, you know, you question the bounds of reality and shit like that goes on. And, you know, first thing he said to me when I called him up was, "I'm ready, let's do this."
Mm-hmm.
So, and we got plenty of songs, you know, written already with War Dance, and some of them are convertible to Exodus, and some of them are taking longer because there's just different style of music, you know.
Right. Okay,
so we're trying to fit it in properly.
So how do you see each album as a progression then?
What's that?
How do you see each Exodus album as a progression? Anybody?
Each Exodus album as a progression?
Yeah.
I think musically it peaked at Fabulous, and we kind of like, you know, weren't afraid of taking chances or whatever at that point on the third record. I think the one I'm the most curious about, though, is the one that we're going to be doing, you know, here in March or April.
Right.
And I think that one will definitely define the progression, because it's been so many years, you know.
Can we still do it, you mean? Or can we not? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, because everyone knows they can still do it. I mean, I don't question that fact. One of the reasons I do this is because I'm curious, you know, and I want to see what's going to happen 16 years later.
I mean, if we can get up and play, you know, those old songs still, we can, you know, we can still do it. You know, I mean, it's just a matter of, it's a matter of tapping the right, you know, vein in people, you know, because. You know, we're obviously going to write stuff that we like because we wrote it, so we're going to love it. You know, it's a matter of you know, making it broad enough and, you know, trying to touch, you know, all the fans. You know what I mean? And so.
And the new shit really is the best. I mean,
You're playing any of it tonight? You got any new stuff that you've been
we're gonna
playing?
play a couple of them tonight, and it just jumps out and just tears your face right off. It doesn't even fuck around. There's no build up.
Right. So getting back to the live album, it must have sold really well for you because that's such a live recording. It's like true to the word, isn't it? I mean, not many bands do live albums. It's either dubbed or.
It didn't sell very well.
Didn't it really? I was real surprised because, God, man, it blows your fucking speakers a bit when you put it on. It's like, whoa.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of it's a hidden classic.
It really didn't sell well at all. I'm real surprised.
I like it. I stack it up against anything live that's out there.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Tone wise and just everything wise, it kicks my ass.
So did you do any dubbing on that album? Was it just straight raw, just, you know, shoot this to the sense, or did you actually go in the studio and touch things up, or?
It's pretty much live. We touched up a few things like just crowd noises, and we wanted to get all that Bailoff band in between songs.
Right.
That alone's worth the cover price.
Right, my next question is, I believe this is going to be released as a DVD. We was talking you releasing that live album as a DVD. What happened?
God, we've been talking about that forever. I mean, we had so much trouble with Century Media that all business maybes just went down the drain. And I mean, if we end up doing it, it'll be just us doing it now. And we've been talking about trying to do a DVD that we know we have some friends that have some real old stuff and all the way up, you know, through current things, and they want to try to put stuff together like an old. You know,
we got the masters. We got masters of that live show too.
Sorry?
We have the masters of that live show too.
Yeah. Because there was talk about you releasing it as a live DVD and video for that
released
CD.
We released a couple videos from that night to different. They were played down in South America and just a little bit here in Europe on Viva. And
I think it'd be a good idea to release it in memory of Paul then.
I mean, if we do it, it'll be on kind of a DVD type compilation. It'll be one of the. We'll pick some of the better, you know.
Are you thinking about doing that combat tour with the one with Slayer and Venom? You're thinking of doing a bit clips from that because that's quite hard to get hold of now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've got a copy of that at home.
So far, they're just talking about that. It really hasn't been nothing done about it.
Right, okay. Okay, the next question is about Paul. I mean, it must have devastated the band when he died. I mean, how did it affect you all?
We miss him every day. I think he's with us every day.
Especially when you're on the road, he's kicking your asses, I presume.
Oh, yeah.
His spirit saying, get up there and, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, you brought up a picture to me earlier today.
Yeah.
That was just kind of like...
Well, I'll give a small version of that to Gary so you can put it on the website.
Yeah. It's a good one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean... Yeah, it was kind of numbing, for sure.
It was really unexpected.
How are you, Jack? Or did it affect you?
I mean, it was just really unexpected. It made... You know, sometimes you like... I don't know, I mean, sometimes you just don't feel like anything can go wrong in a certain situation, you know what I mean? I mean, for me, I was all of a sudden, you know, playing in Exodus, who I'd grown up kind of listening to and shit, so, you know, having been in the band, it was almost unreal to begin with, and then, you know, having Paul die, it was like really sobering, a sobering experience, you know, it was very real experience, you know, and, I mean, you know, he was a friend, and it really sucks when friends die, man.
So what did he die? Was it a heart attack, was it?
No, it was
he had a massive aneurysm in
Yeah.
brain.
Yeah, he had 3 strokes. The third of one, which was giant, and cut off all communication to his body, from his brain to his body. And he'd had 2 previous strokes to that. Sometimes they're undetectable, though.
Yeah.
Sometimes the only person that knows it is the person that's had them, or it wipes out your ability to detect it, that you've had something fuck with you that way. You know?
They call them silent strokes.
Right.
So you don't know. You could be slurring your words, sound like you're talking drunk all the time.
Sounds a bit like when I had that panic attack at Dynamo when I met you guys. I was on a bad panic attack and I was slaying the words. I was like, interviewing Gary, I just couldn't get it out after the interview. I remember Debbie coming up to me with a big bottle of water and said, drink that. I was like, I was sweating like, I was just like, jeez, that was the worst fucking panic attack I've ever had in my life. Really fucked me up. I had to redo the interview. I had to do the interview with you as well on the telephone, I remember. I was so fucked up. Fucked me up, big style. So did you actually record any songs with Paul then?
No.
Any new songs before?
Nope.
Nothing really, no.
Unfortunately not.
You see that ladder?
That's all gone.
Okay, the next question is, did you feel it was important for the band to carry on in memory of Paul?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially in the time just following when he died, because we'd had, we had plans, and we had shows set and booked, and money and deposits had already been sent and stuff, and we couldn't back out, and and even more than that, we just wanted to go do it.
Right. Okay.
And we never felt like he would want us to stop.
Yeah.
Stop because of that anyway.
It's a bit like Death. I mean, it's a shame that Chuck died, but he had another side project, Controlled in Hard. I mean, they could carry on, couldn't really, because he wasn't actually singing on that album. I mean, they could carry on if they wanted to in memory of Chuck.
And they're not gonna?
I don't know. I mean, Jeff Thorpe's carried on Vicious Rumors for a car, hasn't he? He's just plugged away, and you got to have respect to him. He's the only original member left, and he's just like, he's there. That's down to these people that carry on like yourselves. You've got to do it if you feel like it's right, don't you, really?
Right.
Now, what do you feel about the thrash movement? You're coming back. I mean, like bands like Nuclear Assault and Heathen and yourselves. You think it's making an impact? This is the time now.
I think it's cool, and I'm glad we're not the only ones old that are still out there doing it.
who's got the Zimmer frames and who's got the wheelchairs?
Yeah. I don't know.
I
don't know if it's the signs of big things to come or not. I mean, it's just us going out and having a good time, to get that feeling of playing music to people that like it. That's worth more than...
So could you tell me who else has reformed then? See, it's reformed recently that we don't know about.
I mean, a lot of people got together to do that Chuck Billy benefit, and
has he got cancer of the throat or something?
he actually beat it.
Good.
And everything.
Come on in.
Hi, Steve, come in.
You probably want to get your 2 cents anyway.
The guy, I don't have any money.
Yes, that is what you smell.
He's downstairs. Come on up.
Who is
John
it?
is his name, right? I don't have any money.
Hi, Steve.
How are you, my friend?
You got lungs, though.
I was just talking about the thrash movement coming back, all these bands. What do you think about all these bands coming back, Steve?
It's great. It's about time, huh? It's about time.
You asked me about reformations.
Yeah.
Rob Cavastani told me not to say nothing, but you could probably look for Death Angel to be putting some new material out there sometime in the future.
I did see some pictures of him recently.
I know already.
He's just getting too many calls. His phone is ringing off the hook every fucking day. People going, what's up?
He's downstairs. That guy from the club with the...
What do you think about bands like Lars Rocket? Do you think they should reform? Because they went on tour, didn't they?
Come again?
Lars Rocket. But Lars Rocket, do you think about them coming back?
Lars Rocket?
Hand me that letter.
I don't know. He knows.
Tobacco, is it?
Zetro knows Willie. I don't
Really?
think.
Yeah. Lars Rocket will not reform.
Yeah, I don't think so
Yeah.
either.
Willie's father has
Truck driver, isn't he?
truck driver. He owns a trucking company
All right.
with about 60 trucks. They're so goddamn rich they don't need to do this. Believe me, he won't. They won't ever step.
And they all have families, and they're all pretty much set in their lifestyle now.
Alright. So when are you going to be recording your album then? Oh, Steve?
March and April.
March and April.
Yep.
You got new songs, all titles wrote and everything.
Yep.
Can enlighten me with the titles.
You're gonna play dude tonight.
There's only a few titles.
Throwing down war is my shepherd, culling the herd.
Temple of the Damned, Angary.
Tempo of the Damned.
There's a few of them there.
Right. So that's,
We got about 4 more to work out.
so obviously you're not with Century Media. This is the first time I found out today because I came on their guest list and found out I wasn't on the guest list. So I'm kind of like, I was kind of fucking.
That's because they don't have a guest list with us anymore.
No. So what happened then? What happened with Century Media? What did they fuck you over with?
They don't pay. They've never paid this band a dime since that record
They
came
showed
out.
up for our live album recording with fucking pocket lint in their pockets. We had full video crew, hired to do it, and we had 6 professional cameras that recorded that evening, and they flake on every way possible. The promotion is a joke. Let me give you an example. Fucking Gary and I sat down at the Whiskey A Go-Go, did 93 cable station video IDs, right?
Right.
Okay, with the Century Media rep. Like Wayne's Cow Metal House, in fucking Champaign, Illinois, or something. We 93 of these things. And at the end of it, I told the guy, I'm like, well, this is cool. These will be hitting at the same time our tour is, right? He's going out. He said, actually, no, they were running a month behind your tour. It's like, what kind of promotion is that, I mean, the band wasn't doing shit for the whole month prior to that. He couldn't send a rep up to do it then, so at times, it clicks with the time that we're on the tour.
Right.
It's just, that's a small example of how they shoot themselves in the foot every day. So bye, guys.
Jackie was telling me earlier on about you doing the album yourselves, putting out yourselves, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the album going to be called?
We don't know.
Kill everything. I don't know.
Kill Century Media?
No, we don't know. No, I mean we're beyond that now. We're past all that shit. It's we're gonna write this music and it's gonna be fucking amazing, and
It's going to make Metallica show what metal is.
Century Media lives in the background now.
Right.
It's like that's behind us.
So where's the album going to be recorded? Any idea where
Where it's gonna be recorded?
Yeah.
It's
I'll do my tracks in San Francisco.
I'll do my tracks in San Francisco.
Was that sorry?
We're gonna do it at this. I don't know. It's this place in Texas that Andy Sneap likes.
Oh yeah. So you used Andy Sneap, yeah?
Yeah.
You used him on the live album, didn't you? Yeah.
He said he was born. He told me he was born to do that record.
So what do
So
you
we
think of him as a producer?
Andy? Oh, he's great. He's great.
Yeah.
He's great.
We love him. We love him as a producer and a guy.
Right.
Because I mean, he's been this route, and he knows how the stuff should be recorded well, and he's on his shit. He knows what's up.
Mm-hmm.
And he lets me have the snare drum nice and loud.
Have you ever asked him to go back to Sabat? Because they've reformed, haven't they? They're called Return to the Sabat. Has he ever thought of going back with Martin? Or?
Sure.
I mean, he's been getting so many
I'm sure
calls.
he's thought about it, but he is so busy producing.
Must be earning more money now.
He'd be a fool. He'd be a fool to stop. I mean, because especially producers, they're not like the hot ticket for their whole life. So when you are, you need to take advantage.
But like Colin Richardson and Scott Burns, at the end of the day, people wanted them, didn't they? Same with Andy, I guess. He's in the day at the moment.
I mean, Andy's he's the man. He can do what everybody wants.
And his phone's ringing off the hook too.
Ringing off the hook, yeah.
Right. So will you be mixing the album in Nottingham? Because I know Testament mixed the album.
Yes.
Yeah. So you'll be all flying over to Nottingham and.
Probably only Gary will go. And,
Right.
Him and Andy will mix it.
All right. Okay. Next question is: Is this album going to feature any special guests? Are you thinking about having anybody?
Not really.
No. Not at all. Okay. What ideas do you have for a cover concept? Have you had any ideas yet?
We're pretty wide open on that still.
No, not for the record.
It's still got to be decided.
We talked about a couple, but I think we decided we don't want to do it.
Who's going to do the artwork? Any idea who's going to do the artwork? Or are you still shopping around still? Right. Okay. What do you think Paul would say if he was with you now? If he was watching over you, or
Actually, I know he is.
Right.
And I think he walks upon the road we're on every day with us.
I remember him at Dynamo saying to the crowd, "Kill, die, kill." On stage, I was like, "God, this guy's fucking crazy."
Yeah, he'd say something like
He,
that.
it was his unconditional love for the music. Leaves in my mind, no doubt. He's with us every day. I've never met anybody in my life that loves metal like him. I never will.
You've met me. I love my music, man. I'm a daft about him.
But he had an unconditional childlike love, for it, almost like a dog's love.
Yeah, right.
That was it, and the crowd tapped into that. That's why he was so well loved.
Right. Okay. Next question is, so how well is the tour going for you so far? You played Greece.
Killer.
2 dates in Greece, I believe. Yeah.
2 insane fucking nights in Greece. It was awesome.
Right. And I remember you telling me, Jack, that you had to leave your banner then, some things, because you got fucked over by customs or something.
Yeah, Air Italia. They just totally scammed us, man.
So everything you hear about the Greeks loving anal sex, yeah, man, we got fucked hard in the ass.
It was,
I don't know if you can print that, but you can.
Yeah, we'll do it. Okay, I'll print it. It's me on fanzine. Okay.
It's a total scam. It was a total scam. They let us get all of our gear into the country for free, and then they held it for ransom.
Yeah, it's the sort of thing they do. These
they're probably sitting there going, all right. They're probably sitting there going, yeah, look at all this weight they're going to not get out of here with.
Did you do your investigations before you left the country about weighing things and that? Did you find out from US Customs how much you were allowed to take over? Or did you just
obviously not. Printed in the fucking small print, it said 20 kilos.
In Greek.
Obviously not, yeah.
Right then, so you played Wacken this year. Was this the first time the band's played Wacken?
Yeah.
And how was it for you?
It was great.
Yeah.
We wrote the perfect set for it. Everything was fast. And it was cool.
Right.
Definitely one of that and Dynamo are the musical highlights of my life.
Yeah. Right. So what other festivals have you done this year? Was it just Wacken?
That's it.
Did you do any touring after Wacken, or did you just do that show and then come back? That's a bit strange. Why didn't you do any touring? Because most bands usually do like mini tours, don't they?
We didn't have anything to tour.
There was really nothing to jump on at that time.
Right.
There was a lull, and sometimes when they have these festival things, and could have been over here a month in limbo before anything started, So we just went back home.
We kind of decided to do it at short notice too, like too short of notice to set up an entire tour. You need to get all the logistics for a long tour down. You gotta have some time to get it ready.
Right. Okay. Has anything strange or funny happened on this tour since you've been on the road? Anything bizarre? Are you expecting any bizarreness?
It's kind of young in the tour, but
just our gear being held for ransom.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
It's still early in the tour, though. I expect something weird will happen.
Like shampoo used as fucking salad cream or something in the shower and fucking... I know that's happened before when I've interviewed bands. Misplaced shampoo conditioner with like salad cream or mayonnaise and getting their own shit.
The old Exodus sound man used to take Gary's background mic and rub it in his butt crack and then stick it on the mic stand.
So what new bands have you been listening to recently? What new bands, sort of like new styles? Or...
Tool.
Right.
I listen to a lot of Tool.
Right.
We played with The Haunted in Greece. They were pretty badass.
Yeah.
Is that recently then?
Just this last week.
I used to know is it Jen's the guitarist?
Yeah.
I used to know his old band Seance. We'll go back.
They're heavy as shit, though.
Yeah.
The Haunted's really good, man.
Really cool dudes, too.
Right.
I'd heard him before, and somebody had played him for me a little bit, and I hadn't, really listened to him since then. But man, watching him play was, they were pretty good.
What other bands do you like listening to recently? What new bands or?
Metal, I don't listen to too much.
Right.
Because I play.
Because you play it, yeah.
Time, so,
He likes Rush.
Right.
I'm a real big classic rock fan.
Yeah.
When I listen to music, I listen on Boston or Led Zeppelin or something like that.
I listen to anything from Gladys Knight to fucking Otis Redding.
Yeah, but me too. I mean, I'm a big Billie Holiday fan, and I listen to everything.
All right, then. So, what's your top 10 classic metal albums, Tom? What's your top 10
classic metal albums?
In order. What do you say?
In order. Oh God, Highway to Hell.
That number one.
Number one.
Right.
Number 2, Merciful Fate, Melissa. Number 3, Merciful Fate, Don't Break the Oath. Number 4, Angel Witch. Number 5,
Is it Angel Witch?
Angel Witch.
Mm.
Shit, Restless and Wild should be number 1 for me also, but
It's a killer album.
it's a great album. and Balls to the Wall also is a great album. Rainbow, Long Live Rock and Roll. Where are we at? 7?
Yeah, I think so.
7, 8.
We've got Reanimator in there.
Anything else by Rainbow? Anything else by Rainbow? And then I gotta throw some funk in there. Tower of Power.
That ain't metal.
Oh, metal albums.
Yeah. Reanimator.
I'm not really familiar with a lot of European stuff.
Yeah.
Except for the old stuff, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Stuff that molded us. Let's see. Rest of my Balls to the Wall. UFO, Strangers in the Night.
Right.
And Scorpions.
Which one?
The one, the old best of album that they used to sell.
I like the live album, Live in Tokyo. That's a good album.
Tokyo Tapes?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good album.
throw that in there. That's a good one.
Right, Jack, what about yourself? What's your top 10 classic rock or metal albums?
Well, rock or metal, I mean, it's, I don't know, it's two different things. My metal albums would definitely be, Rain and Blood would definitely be the number one.
Oh, yeah.
Metal
Think about that.
Nah, too late.
Of all time. And then behind that, I'd say there's like 4 that are boxing for number 2. That would be Master Puppets, P-Cells, Among the Living, and Fabulous.
Right.
Those were all basically the peaks of
Cult thrash classics.
each one of those bands. Yeah, and the other 5 would probably be the other Slayer albums that were around.
Hell Awaits.
Yeah, I like Hell Awaits. I really liked South of Heaven, and what was the one after South of Heaven? The
Into the Abyss
was great too, and Ride the Lightning too is in there.
Nobody likes Judas Priest then?
Oh, yeah, we just,
I do,
you only
but-
let us list 10.
Yeah. What's your favourite Priest album? Because they're my favourite band.
Unleashed in the East.
What's yours?
I like Painkiller, too.
Probably that too.
Mine's Screaming for Vengeance.
Yeah, that
Love
one
that
too.
album.
That's a good
Right,
one
it's
too. Yeah.
Right, I'd like to thank you guys for doing the interview. Do you have anything to say to the fans and readers before we finish?
Man, just look out for
Come
new
to the
stuff.
Christmas Fest.
Yeah?
It's not going to be printed by then.
I know.
Just look for the new record. It'll be out eventually.
We'll probably be back earlier than next year.
Right. Okay, thanks guys for the interview. Appreciate
No problem.